Hello, I'm Miss McCoy, and I am so excited that you're going to be in my science class this year. We're going to watch this little video, learn a couple things about how this science class is going to run, and kind of get to know me a little bit. And then we're going to talk about a couple cool things. So let's get started. So a little bit about me. My husband and I, we have 3 children, Hayden, Mason, and Lauren. Y'all might see Hayden running around in the hallways this year. He's a 6th grader. We love to go camping and playing in the water, and I love science, which is really handy since that's what I get to teach. So in my classroom, instead of rules, I've got 5 B's to succeed. And so the first one is going to be to be respectful. We're always going to try to be respectful of each other, of the things in the classroom, of computers, of everything. We're just going to try to be respectful. Next is to be kind. Kindness to me is like a big thing. I always try to treat people the same way that I want to be treated, and that's always going to be with kindness. The next one is to be responsible. So you're going to have a list of things that you're going to need to bring to class or have ready for class every day, and that's you being responsible. One of those would be to make sure your computer is charged and it hasn't been broken. That's going to be an important thing for my virtual kids and my face-to-face kids, just being responsible. Next, we've got to be positive. So we're always going to try to have a positive attitude. It just makes the day go by so much better. And last but not least, is to be prepared. So that kind of goes along with kind of being responsible, but that's going to be like if you're coming to my face-to-face class, you're going to have your pencil with you, and you're going to have your folder or your binder or whatever. You're going to have your computer with you and your charger. I mean, you're just going to try to be prepared whenever we come to Miss McCoy's class. And if you do these 5 B's, we're going to be able to succeed in science. Works out pretty good. Let's see. Next. So for every action, there's a reaction. That is Newton's third law of motion, which we'll talk about a little bit later on in the year. That kind of means for students that choose not to follow the 5 B's, I'm going to be really sad first. And then the reactions to a student not following those 5 B's would be number 1, we'll have a verbal warning. I'm just going to say, hey, let's get back to work, you know. Number 2, I have this awesome written detention thing, and I've got it all on a piece of paper. And if you don't behave or, follow those 5 B's, I'm going to give you that written detention to take home, and you're going to have to copy the whole paper down, and then your parent or guardian has to sign it and get it back to me by the next day. If that doesn't work, I'm going to have to call home and talk to parents or guardians. Okay. So if the parent contact doesn't work, I'm going to have to refer you down to the office and Mr. Scroggins. And man, I don't ever want to do that. And I bet we're not going to have that problem. But just so you know, the order go. Okay. So the reaction for students that choose to follow the 5 B's is awesome. Number 1, the joy of learning. What's cooler than that, right? Next, we've got verbal praise. I'm going to tell you how amazing you're doing, what an awesome job, and you're just fantastic. Next, we've got BHAG tickets. And BHAG tickets we're going to talk about later on. That might be maybe tomorrow or the next day. And then, of course, we're going to have some high fives. Who doesn't love a good high five for a job well done, right? Okay. Next, I had this handy-dandy video. And when I tried to record this deal and played the video, the sound wouldn't work. So this is a good lesson in sometimes technology doesn't always do what we want it to or what we expect, but that's okay because we're going to roll with it anyway. So growth mindset versus fixed mindset. And really, so I'll kind of lead in with, I've heard a lot of times being a science teacher, students come in and they say, oh, Miss McCoy, I just don't love science. It's just not my jam. It's just not my thing. And I'm like, oh, that's terrible. I'm going to try my best to make science your jam. So the way I'm going to do that is try to help you have a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. And when a student says, I just can't do science, That's a fixed mindset, and they think that they just are never going to get it. They can't do it. And I think as long as you try, science could be your jam too. And there's nothing that I teach that you can't get. And if we can change a mind from being fixed, man, I just can't do it, to, oh man, that's really cool. I can do that. I can get science or math or whatever it is that might be difficult for you. You're going to have that growth mindset. And that's my goal for all of us this year, is to hold on to a growth mindset. So right here, I've got this little video, and this one actually is working because I don't need you to listen to anything. So what's happening here is in your brain, you've got these little cells. They're called neurons. I don't know if you've ever heard of them or not, but if not, it's okay. It's not going to be on the test. But I just wanted to show you this because it's awesome. So when you go into any class or anywhere and you're learning something new, this is what's actually happening in your brain. See that little string that kind of went right there? In just a second, they're going to play this back, and it's going to be in slow motion, and we'll see it better. So when we're talking about something and you're learning something, those cells in your brain are actually growing connections. See how it's kind of reaching out to the other one? Oh my goodness, that's like the coolest thing ever. So you can rewind this if you want to watch that again. But so when you're learning, that's what's actually happening in your brain. Isn't that cool? I don't know. I just thought you guys would like that because I like it. Anyway, last thing I have for us to talk about is just some science class information. I've got my email address here. It's terry.mccoy@ssisd.net. I'm going to have a paper for you that has all of that information on it, whether you're face-to-face student or one of my virtual students. The phone number to the school is right here. That will be on there as well. My conference time as of right now is during 7th period. Now that might change, but right now it's still 7th. And then the website that we're going to be doing almost all of our work through is going to be through Teams. So I am so excited that you are in my class this year, and I cannot wait to get started on this science. Y'all are amazing. I'll see you next time.